What up, beautiful people? I apologize. I'm 2 minutes behind. I've been like from call to call to call, but it's been an amazing day. I hope you're having a fantastic day. First and foremost, we're going to talk about diet culture today. If I'm gonna give it to you straight, and I'm gonna speak directly from my heart. So please, if you're catching the recording, please type replay and also share in that same comment. What was your main takeaway? If you agree, disagree, let's have a discussion down there in the comment. All right. So okay, guys, diet culture. I think that it goes without saying, but perhaps it doesn't. One thing that the industry has done a really, really bad job at is selling people the lie that if you just lose weight, you will be happy. That the one thing that is missing from your life, the reason why you're so unhappy, is the weight. That is one extreme. That is saying, hey, you're depressed. All you need to do is lose weight, and then you'll be happy. And unfortunately, that has been a lie that has been perpetuated for a long time, right? So most of us, at one point or another, we believed that, right? In fact, guys, what set me up on this journey was feeling very unhappy about what I saw in the mirror. I was 18 years old. I was 80 pounds overweight, and I had no self esteem. I had no self respect. And because of that, I allowed people to treat me in really shitty ways. And I thought, I did not deserve any better than that, right? So when I looked in the mirror, the only thing I could see was my body, right? And so I thought my body was the problem. I thought that the way that I looked was the problem. And that is what set me off on this journey of fitness and inner work and discovery and all of that stuff. Um, so along the way, I realized that it was about a lot more than that. It took it took more than just losing the weight for the way that I saw myself to change. It basically became a game of stacking wins. It became a game of keeping promises to myself, one after another, small promises, like I'm going to go for a walk, or like I'm just going to have one bowl of these chips. You know what I mean? Like literally those were the kind of promises that I could keep, and even that was a win. So it became a game of stacking wins. And what started to happen was that over time, that pile of wins started to overshadow my perceived massive pile of losses. And then how I saw myself, what I thought of myself, who I thought myself to be, started to shift. It started to change. I started to not tear myself down so much. I started to really get very comfortable with knowing who I was, and like the good things about me and the not so good things about me, and just acceptance, right? So I think that when it comes to diet culture, that is why there is such an emotional response to the subject, because it's a sore spot for a lot of us, right? Think about it. If magazines for decades, if models on shows or whatever, if celebrities, whether it was willingly or unwillingly, gave us the idea that all we needed to do was be skinny and then we would be happy. Say you fully believed into that, right? Let's say you bought in. Let's say you put in the work. Let's say at the expense of everything else in your life, you made the sacrifices, you put the sweat, blood, and tears, and you lost the weight. But then you get there, and then you go, what the fuck? My relationships are still like, how come I'm still not happy? How come I feel so overwhelmed all the time? I feel stressed, I feel anxious, I feel like I don't belong, I feel. And that is because we only tackled the on the surface stuff, right? But so put yourself in this situation. You would definitely feel lied to. You would definitely feel, well, upset, angry, disappointed. So that's why I think, the moment that, I mean, sometimes just using the word diet can be triggering, right? Just using the word, I mean, frick, anything can be triggering these days, but you know what I'm saying, right? Uh, I understand it. I have empathy for people are who have a very strong emotional response to the word diet, or to someone saying I'm trying to lose weight, or for someone saying, "Oh, I didn't want to work out today, but I did and I feel really proud of myself." I understand the emotional response. It's based on our own um, uh, experience, right? And how we dealt with those blows that we may have taken. Um, on the other side is the I think that just as it is extreme to say all you need to do to be happy is be skinny, like that is extreme in my view. That's extreme. On the far other side is saying you should not, like, losing weight is bad. That's on the other side. That's the exact same thing, just flipped upside down, right? It's another end of this of the extreme, because I mean it's really hard to argue against statistical data. Uh, you know, I mean, we can get as blunt about this as it's required, but you don't see you see 300-pound people and you see 80-year-old people, right? You may see some 80-year-olds out there. You may see some 300-pound, 400-pound, whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? But you don't see 80-year-olds that are also 100, 150 pounds overweight. You don't see that. There's a reason for that, right? It has us being severely overweight not only clearly shortens our lifespan, it also drastically impacts the quality of our life. And do I think there's nuance in between? Of course there is. Of course there is, right? If you're like whatever, if you're overweight, but you're fine as in there's no pain in your body, like your knees don't hurt, your back doesn't hurt, you're good, you're strong, you're energetic, you can run up a flight of stairs, you're fine. You can play with your kids outside, you're fine. You want to be out there playing with your kids. You don't feel like you have to shut the lights when you're going to be intimate with your partner. You don't have to be changing clothes a million times because you don't like how something fits. Like, that's what I define by fine. Because it's very easy. It's a very simple, very basic cop out to be like, I'm fine. And but we really are not, right? So that's what I define by being fine. Um, eh, then obviously there has to be nuance. But in my view, and please tell me if you disagree, that's totally cool. That's what this video is for us to discuss. On one end, I think side of that extreme is saying all you need to do to be happy is be skinny, and then on the other is um, losing weight is bad. You should not try to change how you eat. You should just live your life, girl. I don't think that serves us. I think we deserve better. I think we deserve more than that, right? That's like throwing a treat at a dog. It makes the dog happy for a minute, right? It doesn't actually give love, or it doesn't actually solve anything. You know what I mean? So this is very interesting, as you can imagine, for me, because um, I was working with I've worked with a coach. I've had a coach. I've paid a coach nonstop for the past almost 10 years. Um, why? Even when I had no money, like even when we started the business and it was just me and Katie, and the first profit that I made went to hire a coach. Why? Because I didn't want to make more mistakes than were necessary. I wanted to learn faster. I wanted to improve faster. So I was willing to pay for that. Um, and even a coach that I was working with last year was like, "Are you sure that you want to be the weight loss guy? Like, are you weight loss?" And I was like, "Yes." Okay, no, but just want to make sure that his concern was it's very easy. Like you're going to attract a lot of hate. That was his concern. You're going to attract a lot of hate if you're talking about losing weight because it's a triggering subject. Because for a lot of people, it's a source of frustration. And again, if you bought into the lie of I just need to be skinny to be happy, and then you got skinny and you weren't happy, understandably so, right? So that was the coach's concern. Um, if you're going to be if you're going to be helping people with weight loss, that's a double-edged sword. You're going to have to be out there saying, "Hey, I can help you lose weight," and that will attract a lot of hate. And it was a very conscious decision that I said, "Yeah, no, like I will help people do it right. There's nothing wrong with losing weight if you're doing it from a healthy place. There's losing weight with celery juice, and then there's losing weight by just going for walks and like not eating until you feel sick, right? Or eating, enjoying life, hello, but then stopping when you feel like, all right, that was good. Not having to go to the point where you go, oh man, I overdid it. I shouldn't have done that. Right? Learning to identify what triggers certain patterns and certain behaviors in you, learning to enjoy food and events with family, with friends, date nights, um, and enjoying food without guilt or shame. That's what I want. That's what I want to teach people. You know, helping people reestablish the relationship with food so that they can have the treat when they choose it on their terms and not as an emotional response to a stressful day or a long day or a busy day or an anxious day or a bored day or that's what I yes, I think there's a lot in between, right? Weight loss is bad. Weight loss is all you need. Like those are the extremes. It's in the middle that the gold is. And so I think it's important. The reason why I don't judge anybody based on where they're starting is for me, what got me started, guys, I knew nothing about this. I thought the issue in my life was that I was 80 pounds overweight. I thought that that was the problem that needed to be solved. That's how that's how oblivious I was and how little self-awareness I had. That's what I thought. I thought if I was not 80 pounds overweight, I would be happy and my whole life would be better. And I was wrong. Like that's not what did it, but it set me up on this journey. And along the way, I realized, wait a minute, I feel really good this week, even though this week I didn't lose any weight. Huh, interesting. And obviously a lot of lessons along the way. And shortly after I realized, oh man, this has nothing to do with the weight. Like this has everything to do with like shaping the me that I am in here and in here. Like the body is just an external representation of how I think and what I believe. But if you had told me that when I was staring in the mirror, being like, look at my gut, look at my triple chin, I would not have listened. I would not have believed it. I would have been like, yeah, 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 yeah. I hear you. How do I lose weight? Tell me like exactly what food I should eat, right? So so that's the reason why I am so unapologetic about it. That's it. Now, if you've worked with us, you know this. One thing is I I I got nothing against before and afters. You probably can deduce this. You see me posting a whole bunch. I think they're inspiring, man. They helped me a lot when I was starting. Seeing normal people, not people that looked like Photoshop, but like normal people go from like feeling really out of shape and like you can see it in their face, right? Like the fuck, I gotta take this picture and I feel so uncomfortable. Like it's taking everything in me to face this, to like their smile on their after picture. Man, I live for that stuff. So yeah, you'll see me post that. And it's and we will deliver, but it's in the how we deliver that 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 I really that's what I live for, right? Um, I'll give you what you thought you wanted by coming into Driven, but I'll teach you what you didn't know you needed to learn, right? Now, if I I also need to be if all I said was I am going to help you redefine your identity, people would be like, what are you talking about? No, because or at least, if I am trying to appeal the Miguel from 20 years ago, that Miguel would not have listened to this message. He would have listened, he would have just needed the, hey, I can tell you exactly what to do and you will lose the weight, like a guaranteed, signed. You do you follow this specific plan, and it's guaranteed in writing that if you don't lose 20 pounds in 12 weeks, I'll give you your money back. Tell me more, he would have said, right? But he would not have listened to any of the internal stuff. So as part of my own journey, I'm trying to share this with you, and it'll do two things. It'll either make you go, this makes sense. I get why in the past, even if I lost the weight, I didn't feel happy because I was just addressing the food that I ate and how many calories I burned. I was not addressing this other piece that this hairy guy keeps talking about, right? That's one possibility. Or it'll make you be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? I'm out. I don't like, just tell me, man, how many squats should I do and how many pieces of lettuce should I eat per day in order to lose the weight, right? So I'm okay with that. Don't I don't want to help everybody because I know I can't. So I've given up on that. I'm okay with it. Um, Even if you are just in this group, and even if you never drop a comment, even if you never drop a like, even if you never do any of that, even if we never cross a single word, we don't message nothing. If you get something out of this, I'm like, good, good. That was I'm thinking of Miguel 20 years ago, right? And then my mom. My mom was the first person that I helped lose weight, and she tried losing weight her whole life since I was a kid. And you look at her now, holy smoke, she's the fittest 60-year-old I know. And I know a lot of 60-year-olds because most of our clients are between 45 and 60. Anyways, this is not about me. This is about you guys. I really hope that this helps. If you feel the frustration of, I thought all I needed to do was lose weight. I lost the weight. My life was still a mess. I still felt unworthy. I still felt blah, blah. The problem was not that you lost the weight. The problem was not calorie counting. The problem was not the scale. The problem was not diet culture. The problem was that you approached a very complex problem from one angle, right? Did it make an improvement? Well, it certainly improved your physical well-being. Statistically speaking, at least, you probably gained 20 years, added 20 years to your life, right? You probably reduced the risk of, heart disease and what have you, blood pressure, significantly, right? And I think that the number now is ridiculous. It's like 80% of deaths are related to lifestyle. So so there was that. There was improvement there, but perhaps under the weight of everything else and every other area of your life, you just couldn't see it, right? Perhaps your ability to properly communicate your needs to your partner, to your boss, to your friends, to your children was not something that you developed at the same time. So you kept on taking everything, right? You kept on allowing people to walk all over you, right? Because you felt guilty about speaking up, or you felt uncomfortable holding the line and being like, hey, please don't talk to me like that. Like, that's not like, if that's how you're going to behave, I'm out. Like, I don't tolerate this. Now, I love you. I'm here. I'm in. But there's the line, right? If you didn't work on those things, if 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 you kept on doing everything for everybody else and eventually got to be too much, if you didn't develop the discipline or the skill of managing your time, your day, your focus, your attention, why do you think it felt like you didn't have any time to yourself? Why do you think that it felt like every one tiny little thing consumed your life? Why do you think you felt overwhelmed all the time? Guys, life is a game of stacking skills. And then when the skills are not the bottleneck anymore, then you got to shift to beliefs. You got to shift to personality traits. And you got to constantly assess. Your life becomes a game of constantly assessing what is the bottleneck right now in my quality of life. Do I lack the skill? Do I lack the personality trait? Or do I lack the belief? And sometimes it'll be more than one. And so this is the kind of work that I love doing with our clients. But like, can you imagine how bad this would do in an ad? Like nobody would. My mom would like it. That's it. My mom, my brother, my sister would like it because they're my diehards. But that's about it, right? So I think if you are in that spot where you've struggled with it, and in the past you've felt resentful towards anybody that is in shape, or anybody that it feels like they can get away with eating a certain way, or you get emotionally triggered by seeing some of these things, work on it. Work on it. You can't bubble wrap yourself. You can't expect it to go away because it won't. Because as humans we will always want to be healthier, and when temptation and comfort are so readily available, guess what's going to happen? It's just going to be it's just going to be easier and easier and easier to indulge than it is going to be to earn those endorphins, right? If I open a bag of peanut M&Ms, I can have freaking rush of endorphins just by like shoving a bunch of them down into my mouth. Or I can go and earn those by getting a walk outside, by lifting some weights, by I don't know, by having a good conversation with friends. This is tempting and easy, readily available, doesn't require any short-term pain, any immediate pain. This other option, it feels like it does, right? It feels like it's the harder option. So as these just become more easily available, it's just going to get worse. So you can't insulate yourself. You can't never see a I don't know, a, a before and after, or a picture of someone working out, or have a friend in your circle that 85% of the time is very conscious about what they eat, and then the other 15% they enjoy life, and but they're still in really good shape. So you can't just block it all out. You can't. But what you can do, and you can do it like this, is acknowledge, ah, my thoughts of my thoughts about the experience that I had created this little blueprint in my mind. So therefore things must be like this. This must be the way things are because this is how I experience them. And there is a chance that that was skewed. There is a chance that that was a very limited view on what actually is. And that's why in my other video the other day, I was talking about the importance of humility, right? The more you bump your head against the wall, the natural response to that is to be like, man, I'm kind of a dum dum. Like, I got a lot to learn here. It's a good thing, right? All right, keep on learning. But like, you assume that position versus like, no, walls are mean, right? Walls are not mean. The walls are there. So you either keep bumping your head up against it, or you go, man, next time I could just walk around it. Or if I'm going to choose to bump my head against it, I'm not going to be mad at the wall. The wall was just there, right? What you can't control is you. What you can control is your thoughts and your actions and your environment. So I hope that this is useful. I hope that I didn't just If I went on too many tangents and I lost you, please say that in the comments so that I can get my shit together a little better next time. I want you to know that I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you, listening. If you hit like, or if you drop a comment or something, it makes me, I take that to mean that the content was a little more valuable to you, that it was helpful in any way. So if it was, please, drop a like or something like that. And if you're like, no, I don't want to do that, that's totally okay. Implement this. I'll keep on doing this. As you can see, this group has been standing for, I don't know, 6 years, something like that, and I keep doing it. Um, so that's okay. There might just be more videos where I just ramble about things that I think you want to hear versus things that you actually want to hear. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching. I love your faces, and I'll see you soon. Bye.